it's Miss Summer Aesthetic here. I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day. So this is my first video on YouTube. Just so you know, Musawwir means artist in Urdu, so it's the artist aesthetic. So on today's video, I'll be discussing the difference between a regular four-year university or community college versus a private art university. And while I'm doing that, I'll have a video of me drawing Yoongi from BTS during the Yunjin fishing trip in the background. So I hope you guys enjoy. So just a little disclaimer before I start, I do only have knowledge of universities here in the States or in Canada, so I won't be able to speak about any universities abroad really. It might be different, so yep. Alright, so first of all, the pros of community college or a four-year university. So the very first one that I really personally enjoyed was the variety of classes that were available to you. So that meant that it wasn't only art classes or art-related things, but it was medicine or humanities courses or sciences or math and just like a whole bunch of different classes that you could take and immerse yourself in. I personally took a whole bunch of anthropology and archaeology classes and some business classes too that I found super interesting. So that was really nice. I just find that when you can take all these different classes, that it gives you a greater world view. So secondly, quite often four-year universities, especially if it's a state university or a provincial university, they are oftentimes cheaper than a private art college. This is especially true for community college, which is oftentimes a lot cheaper than even a regular four-year university, let alone a private art college. Also, adding on to variety in classes, there's also a bigger variety in people. So you're not only surrounded by artists all the time, you have a whole bunch of people who are maybe going into sports or athletics, medicine, etc., etc. There's just a huge variety of people that you can talk to and engage with, and you do learn a lot from them. And then the fourth pro that I found was usually art programs are smaller, and so you have more one-on-one time with your professors and with your peers, and you actually end up getting very close with your peers. I should probably preface all of this by saying that I went to both. I went to a four-year regular university, which I went to for 2 years before I transferred over to a private art university. And so I have experience with both. Of course, that doesn't mean that every single one of my experiences is going to align with yours, but it might be similar. Anyway, so now on to the cons for a four-year regular university. So I found that there were not a lot of art classes at my regular university. You just had kind of like the basic standard classes. Really only had 2 or 3 art programs. So we had a fine arts program, we had a graphic design program, and we had a photography program. And so our school really wasn't equipped to handle anything more than that. So it was very standard, very basic. It was just a very limited art program. We also didn't have a lot of resources, so oftentimes you need cameras, or in animation you need like Cintiqs and different things like that. And so the resources that were available to us weren't really that great, especially when I compare them to my private art university. Also, this might vary and might not be true for everyone, but sometimes the teachers aren't that great, especially because they are usually your local art teachers. They haven't really been called in from anywhere. They're just like local artists around. And so it really depends. Maybe you have amazing teachers who are local but just phenomenal, but that isn't always true for everyone. So the quality in art teachers really varies. And then the final con, and this would really depend on who you are as a person, but you have to be very self-motivated and willing to learn yourself in a regular four-year university because of all the lack of resources. Since the teachers or maybe the resources available to you aren't that great, you have to be willing to really put some effort forth yourself and kind of discover new avenues and pave your own way if you really want to guarantee a good future for yourself in art. Awesome. So that's it for a community college or a regular four-year university. And now for art university. So I'm going to start off with pros first. So the very first thing is very obviously just the amount of resources, programs, classes, tools, and teachers available for you at your disposal. Oh my god, just like the amount of art and tools that were there was phenomenal. You could go to any teacher and they were just so specialized in whatever avenue of art they were in, and they just had a whole bunch of skills and knowledge and wisdom that they could impart on you basically. Also, another really nice thing was like your teachers, you also had a whole bunch of like-minded peers, and so it was really nice when it came to critiques or to talk about art, and you could basically discuss and share resources. This might vary for everyone. Maybe you don't like being surrounded by artists all the time. They are moody. I promise you. It's like not even a stereotype because I would, yeah, I've been there, I've done that. Alright, so obviously another thing, and this is just like common sense, but of course, the whole university is just tailored to artists. Like this just kind of ties into my earlier points, but all the resources are just available to you. They have created the college in a way where it is just so easy for us. We have 24-hour access to all the studios, and when it comes to like renting things, etc., etc., it's just so easy for artists to just navigate around a specialized school that is made just for them. And then adding to that, there's also so much freedom of expression because of that. Because they know that it's a school for artists, they basically let us run free and do whatever we want. I remember one person narrating to me that there was just this guy standing naked outside holding a sign protesting something, and that was just so commonplace in art school. It wasn't weird or anything. It was just like, yep, just another day. And then I think this last point is something that I found was probably the most beneficial to me, is that when you're so immersed in art every single day and you're surrounded by artists and you're surrounded by teachers and professionals who are in that field, you just pick up all this art vocab so fast. And it really helps you talk and engage with art in a way that I didn't find myself doing at my four-year university. It really makes me better able to communicate my art, my feelings, other people's art, other people's feelings, and just the understanding of art. And it's helped me in my professional life too, and I do work professionally in the art field. And now on to cons of art school. So first of all, and the biggest one, it's so expensive. And the thing is that the prices are around like, schools like Yale and Stanford and stuff, but when you go to Yale and Stanford, you almost have like a guaranteed job right out of school. Not always, but oftentimes you do. But art is such a hard field to navigate that it's just a lot harder to know that you'll find work outside of school, and also how much that work will pay. Like, will it actually pay off these bills? So that's something huge to keep in mind. Just know that if you are going to art school and you're worried about the cost, you really have to think like, will I push myself to find work? Will I be able to find work? And if you have that trust and belief in yourself, then do it. And if you don't, then I would maybe just head towards a cheaper four-year regular university that might not have the best art program, but at least it's a little cheaper. And then you can kind of pave your own way. And then also, and this happened in my four-year university too, but it wasn't as bad. But in art school, there's a lot more pretentiousness and bias when you're being graded by professors. They are just, they're pretty harsh, and I feel like you have to be very strong-minded, and you really have to stand behind like what you believe in terms of your art. And then I like this and I didn't like this, but basically you only get art or art type classes. And that can honestly be a little like exhausting. It's so much art all the time. All your humanities courses, everything is just linked to art. And I personally miss that a lot about my regular four-year university. Okay, And then this fourth point, I feel like people really, really have to pay attention to. So the curriculum is really, really hard. Oh my God, art school curriculums are insane. If you are someone who's not used to churning out a lot of art very often, or you take your time with art, like really think about it before you go to a four-year university, because you have to do so many assignments so quickly. You really just have to churn them out. Like if you're a quick artist, if you do more stylized art especially, I've noticed, you probably won't have a hard time. But if you're a fine artist, if you like to take your time with things, then you might struggle a little bit with this one. And if you're a beginner to art, then yeah, I would definitely think a little bit before going to art university, because you have to have a set of skills before you enter. Of course, they also don't just let you enter without a portfolio, but say you enter somehow and those pieces took you a long while, then just definitely think about it. That was something I struggled with. I'm a slow artist, and so that did not help me at all. So yay, that's all I have for today. And anyways, I think going forward I might do actual screen recordings versus using Procreate's screen recording feature, because I think it's easier when I can actually like zoom in and you guys can see what I'm doing when I'm drawing. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry, I'm still so new to this. I know I have a lot of ums and stuff while I'm talking, but if you still sat through this video, thank you. Thank you for watching. I'll be doing more videos like this, and if you have any questions, leave them down below, and I'll be bringing you more art content. So like, subscribe, and see you guys next time. Bye! Here's today's drawing. I hope you guys liked it. Yoongi looked so cute just sleeping there, and I was like, I have to draw him.